Hello and welcome. This is Self-Control, How to Build a Better Life, the podcast that will inspire you to take control of your mind and your mindset to go forward and build the life that you want to live, the life that you deserve to live. Today, pretty short and sweet, pretty simple. I want to offer you a piece of advice that was given to me. I found it to be very useful. It's something that I use to remind myself when I'm feeling lazy, let's say, or when I feel a lack of encouragement, a lack of motivation, when I'm feeling undisciplined. This was something that was given to me, and I feel it's only right to try and pass it on if it might be able to help somebody else. I think if you're feeling a little lazy or undisciplined yourself, maybe it's been a long summer of having too much fun and it's time to rein it in. Maybe you've given up hope or you're questioning the path that you're on. I don't know how well I can motivate or encourage somebody. You can't really teach discipline, at least not through a podcast, I don't think. But this is about as close as I can get to that. Is trying to offer you something to take home and think of for yourself and put it to work in your own life, in your own mind. I think this piece of advice is probably pretty useful if you're struggling to commit to something, if you're kind of maybe letting it slip, letting it slide in some area of your life, diet, exercise, relationships, maybe you're putting off having a hard conversation, you're procrastinating building a fence for all I know, you're not maintaining, you're not keeping up yourself, your living space, your spirit, the things that are important to you. So this piece of advice it's popular among artists, designers, content creators, and that's where I came across it, was in that space. And it's simply this: people are more likely to consume or trust something if it looks like it has been well worked on. People are more likely to consume or trust something if it looks like it has been well worked on. So I first heard this a couple of years ago when I was looking into website building, which is something I detest and will never do. It's something I pay to have done. But when I was looking at website building as a possible stream of income, someone said, as much as we want to build these niche websites quickly, get them up, start putting articles, start putting content out and getting viewers to our site, people are more likely to respond to a website, to trust a website, to further explore it if it looks like effort has been put in. And you could say the same thing about social media profiles. You could say the same thing about video production. You could say the same thing about nearly anything. Like, there is something to be said for lo-fi user-generated content, like a TikTok type stuff. But at the same time, if you find a user that you like and you explore their page and you see, look at all that they've created, look at all the different things they've done, I would have to say you're more likely to want to explore them, hear their ideas, see their content, because they're obviously putting a lot of time, effort, and work into it. It's the same with this podcast, right? I try my best to make it interesting, make it useful, give it an interesting title, a good description, so that you know that I take it seriously, and then I really hope that translates to you taking it seriously. But couldn't we say the same about life in general? If we're putting in the time and effort into ourselves, whether that's through exercise or diet, if we're developing our skills or our personal qualities, over time that will show. And then thereby we have something to bring to the table, to share with others. And that becomes the basis for meaningful relationships, right? So just as a content creator, a designer, an artist wants their portfolio, wants their work to look involved, developed, well worked on, a representation of a lot of time spent on that work. The same can be said about ourselves, our mind, our body, what we bring to the table. We have to, or at least following this line of advice, the amount of time and effort we put into ourselves, who we are, what we work on, what we do, then becomes the basis for those relationships. People are more likely, I believe, to trust and to want to partner with and to want to explore and to become interested in someone who seems to be working on themselves, being authentic. And, that's true, right? When you get into a conversation with somebody or a relationship with somebody and you start to notice, well, this person's kind of a liar, or they're holding things back, or they're narcissistic, or they seem to just be manipulative, or they're using me for something. You're not getting the full picture of a person. Whereas when you meet someone and they're authentic and they share with you and they bring to you and they enrich you, It's easier to form trust. It's easier to become interested, and it's easier to at least see where things could go with this person in any capacity. Romantic, business, friendship, doesn't matter. So it's that fact that we have disciplined ourselves, developed ourselves over time that makes us worthy of being trusted, makes us worthy of being partnered with, makes us worthy of being taken seriously. And I should say too, we internally know this. We internally know I've developed myself, I've worked on myself, and I have something to share because on a certain level, yes, on the basis of just being human, you are worthy of a certain amount of love, the opportunity to have companionship, the opportunity to have opportunities, even though you have to, in many cases, make your own opportunities, make good on those opportunities. But the more work that goes into ourselves, by ourselves, the more self-work we do, again, exercise, diet, developing your personal qualities and skills, seeing and finding out who you are. When you find internally that you've done all this, that's going to develop that self-confidence. It's then going to double back or double forward into the social sphere and make you somebody that is has something to contribute, has something that's of worth, and really helps to build trust and relationships between people. So what can you take away from this? I think the key here is that when motivation fails, discipline has to come in. And if this can help you in remembering the importance of discipline, we can't be perfect every day, but if you're slipping in some part of your life, if discipline has failed you, if you're perhaps stalling on your path to self-improvement, your path to growth, simply remember this. Not only will other people trust a more disciplined, well-defined character, someone who knows who they are, someone who presents authentically, but when we pursue that for ourselves, we pursue that discipline, that self-knowledge, that authentic living, that makes us more likely to know and respect and trust ourselves as well. So thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Of course, please get in touch with me through Facebook. Check out the YouTube channel and subscribe over there. If this content is useful, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts, drop a Q&A or a Q in the Q&A section on Spotify. Get in touch, engage, help me build this community of self-improvement, self-knowing, and authentic living, and we'll go forward from there. And please remember, better is possible.